Hi everybody, this is Bukhara State University online lesson, and I'm Baxronova M A. So today we'll talk about technology. So 21st century is the century of technology, and we cannot imagine our life without using technology. So technology is the part of our life. And thinking about the past times, past years, we can just think about like how people lived without technology in the past years. So today we'll talk about using IT. And nowadays, everything is connected with electronic devices, with computers. So email, e-commerce, e-banking, e-books, and so e-government. I mean, we'll send our documents through internet. So in every minute we use technology in our life, and when you are afraid of this, and when you don't like this, and the people is called technophobia. And so vice versa, when you use every time technology in your life, in your work, everywhere, and this is called technophiles. Technophiles. Okay, so now let's just have a poll. So do you know what's YouTube? What's social media? What's Google Drive? What's podcast? What's blog? What's vlog? What's learning management systems? So today we will discuss these key words during our lesson. Innovation, modern IT technology, media technology, ebooks, online lessons, and interface. So have you ever used technology in the classroom? If so, what technology have you used and how have you used it? Have you ever asked your students to use websites or apps to complete activities or assignments? If so, what websites and apps do you like to use, and what's activity assignments? So we will look through these questions later on. So IT technology. Nowadays we are using printers, scanners, so webcams, mouses, for educational purposes as well. Today we'll talk about using IT for educational purposes. And there are some advantages and disadvantages of using IT in the classroom. So strengths, weaknesses, this is what analysis, where you have to think about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat of using ITs in the classroom. In most developed countries, students are not like interested in using ITs, using various types of IT in the classroom, in their lesson, rather than in Asian countries. Students are interested in different kinds of technologies when teachers use them during their lesson, and they are interested in the lesson. But in most developed countries, students, everywhere they have highly developed technologies. That's why it's difficult to interest them in the lesson just using high technology. So so some researchers proved this fact. So now analyze this. So using IT in the classroom, is it beneficial, or are there some drawbacks of it in your groups? So let's look at the benefits of mobile applications in education. So do you use them actually? Mobile applications in education, they are more social and can be entertainment for students, so they can round the clock availability, effective utilization of leisure hours, alternate modes of learning, and it's fun and informal. But in some places, using mobile phones during the lesson is uh, um, is prohibited. So if students are using this, mobile phones for not educational purposes. Evaluating language learning and teaching websites. So there are different websites for learning the language and teaching the language. So there are different apps and websites. Let's look through them and evaluate them. So apps. So website, what's website and what's apps? So applications. Website is created for computer use, and it's informational resource. And so applications are mostly created for mobile phones, and they are interactive. So I also mostly I use during my lessons, so Kahoot for educational purpose. So there are thousands of English language teaching websites and so apps to help both students and teachers. They are quizzes, polls, feedback, Kahoot, Socrative, EasyClass, Quizlet, Edmodo, ShareIt, Google Drive, Speaking Homework, VoiceThread, Flipgrid, Critical Thinking, Breaking News English, TED Talks, Pronunciation and Corpus, Youglish, and Lesson Activity Ideas, and Busy Teacher. So they are apps and websites. Some of them are apps and some of them are website. So now choose one of the teaching websites or apps from the list and discuss it with your group. Which apps or websites do you use most? Or if you are not using this, so you can learn how to use these apps. So, and we can classify these mobile apps according to the levels of your language learners. For example, apps for primary learners, and apps for secondary learner, and apps for tertiary learner. So we talked about the benefits of mobile apps for primary level learners. So if you are going to teach primary level learners, so here you have some apps where can be useful for your future teaching classes. So they are logo, and so it's given like their logo, so name of the app, and so devices can be used in order to use this app. And so language skills, which language skill can this app improve? And so and the last column is so they are paid or unpaid. For some apps, you have to pay for a year, for 6 months, and so some apps are free. So here you can see Starfall ABCs, it's free app. And Kids Learn to Read, also free app. So 1, 2, 3's ABCs, so preschool learn, kids handwriting, and they are also for free. And Hooked on Phonics, Learn to Read program, this is also free. So as we said before, they were for beginners, starters, for primary learners. So now apps for secondary learners. So Rosetta Stone, Fluent, U, Minds Next, Duolingo, which we know, Open Language, and Memrise. So this is free application, and Magush English video lessons also, they are free. And so if you want to improve your language skills, so use these apps and pay attention to their goal, which app improves which skill. For example, some of them improve grammar, speaking, vocabulary, and listening, reading. So now apps for tertiary, for higher education. Here also you can see some free apps and apps where you have to pay. So Voxy is free, and English podcast for learners is also free. Here you can just improve your speaking, listening, so through audios, different audios. So English listening and speaking app is also free, where most students use this app, and exam vocabulary builder also for free. So here you can just learn different vocabulary through illustrative sentences, which helps learners to understand how each word is used in context. And so if you want to improve your speaking skills, you should use Learn English, Speak English Conversation course with free video lesson speaking. So you can see here the logo with the picture of microphone. So this app helps the learner to speak in English with a video character. So using IT for educational purposes is very beneficial, and we cannot imagine just without using computers, audio materials, learning the language. So now, what are good teaching tools? What are digital learning tools? And if you know, there are different LMS, learning management tools. They appeared. They are or MOOCs. You can use massive open online courses. Some of them are free, most of them are free. You can learn free, you can take a course and so learn this course, and you can get even a certificate for it. And I want to talk about Zoom classes. So during quarantine time, teachers mostly used Zoom lessons for distant learning. And so while using Zoom classes, so it's very difficult just to sit in a in one place and listen to your teacher for an hour, for 40 minutes or more than an hour. So in order to make the lesson more interesting, teachers should use different activities. Actually, we use activities during our lesson. I mean, during traditional lesson, but for online lessons, for Zoom lessons, when you sit in front of your computer, in front of your device, and teach and learn. Activities, useful activities, just which provides students to stand and move, are the follows. So Simon says, so you can use this activity while you are teaching through Zoom or in other apps. Simon says, so they have to practice body part vocabulary. So next activity is called show and tell. So you can ask your students to show something and tell about it. And so go find objects. So you can ask your students to different instructions, like to go, to stand, to go in the corner of the room, to touch the door, to touch the window. And by this time you can see it, how they are doing it via your video, because it's online. And category game. So category game, so here you should choose a letter, and for this letter they have to write words that begins with this letter. So you can choose the categories yourself. So they can be a name, they can be place, they can be favorite food, they can animal, type of clothing, things found at school, color, kitchen item, and these all words should begin with the letter with the letter, and students should find unique words for them. For example, if you choose the letter B, they have to find a name which starts with B, like Bakhtiyor or Ben. So if it's a place, they have to find the place which begins with this letter, this B, or favorite food with B, for example, beef steak maybe, and etc. So I'll be glad if you use this games, and if you use this lecture for your lessons. So the lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.